going on, everybody? Just want to do my kind of like not a review, but like kind of my impressions of the Uncharted 4 multiplayer beta. The beta officially ended on, I believe, the 13th or the 14th of December. So either Sunday or Monday of this week, this video goes up. I just wanted to kind of give my pros and cons and what I thought about it. Um, it's not a bad game actually. It's pretty good. I like it. I like what they did with it. So I have a little list here. I'm just gonna go off of that and let's get into it. So first, it's way better than Uncharted 3. Um, the gameplay is a lot smoother, and well, first and foremost, the game is a lot slower than Uncharted 3. And at first, it was a little weird to get used to, but as the more you played it, the more you got used to it. But it's a lot slower than Uncharted 3. Another thing is the hip fire is one thing about Uncharted 3 was it took really the gunfights didn't really take skill. It was okay, whoever hip fires the most and gets the melee. Like people would basically run up to you, hip fire their way to you, and hit you with a melee, and you're pretty much dead. In this game, it's not the case. You actually have to have some gun skill, which is really good. I like what Naughty Dog did with that. Game looks good graphically. I think the game is running at, I believe, 900p 60 frames per second, and I think the story mode is actually 1080p 30 frames per second, so that's good. A lot of people say the game looks bad, but I don't know what, like, the game looks amazing graphically. Like it looks good. Like I said, it's way better than Uncharted. Looks good graphically, runs smooth, and the gunfights actually take skill. So really, that's all I really wanted in the game. As for the Majestics, I know a lot of people in the when they originally announced the multiplayer trailer, a lot of people were worried about that. I myself was worried about that because it looked really like casual, and it looked like it wasn't going to take a lot of the gun fights weren't going to be the main way you got kills in Uncharted 4. But since playing the beta and experiencing some of it and using some of the Majestics myself, I've come to the conclusion they're pretty much balanced except for one. I'm gonna get into that later. The El Dorado is not as powerful as I thought it was gonna be. It's easy to escape. It's not, you don't get caught up in it. You can actually get away from it. The sidekicks, that's another thing. Sidekicks are pretty good. I do think that they should cost a little bit more money because they're a little too easy to get, but they're easy to take down. So that's why they're a little bit balanced as well. But I think that they should raise the price on the sidekicks just so they're not spammed across the map. Because I know, like, at one time they had like 3 brutes on the map at the same time from the same team. It was just like, really? So hopefully they can raise the price of the sidekicks so that they're not as frequent on the map, but they are easy to kill, so it's not as bad. Majestics. Now the Majestic that is not balanced is the something called the Spirit of the Gin. People call it the Delson Roll off Infamous Second Son, but that Majestic has to go. That is the cheapest Majestic on that game, and I really don't see a use for it in this game. It's really cheap, and if they have to keep it in the game, I've heard people say like they should lower the health, or it shouldn't last as long. But I feel like, me personally, they should take it out of the game in general. Like, it just doesn't, to me, it doesn't add any value to the game. Like, it's just another way for people to take advantage of it. And I feel like once the full game comes out, people are just gonna run that and a shotgun and just spam, like, just take advantage of something that it probably wasn't meant to be overused. But let's be real, the community is gonna overuse it. I mean, people were using it in the game, and it was just like, it just took no skill to use. So I feel like it doesn't have a place for it in this game. Um, I want to go back to the gunfights really fast. I started off using the AK-47, and that was pretty good. But I gravitated more towards the FAL. I love that weapon. A lot of people said in the beginning of the beta that it was kind of weak. Um, I didn't think that. I know it got a buff towards the end of the beta, towards the final days. But I did work with that weapon. Like as you see in the gameplay, like it was, you know, I did pretty good with that weapon. So that was my favorite weapon. And the gunfights were, they were fair for the most part. There's gonna be some times where you know, you get killed for no reason. But for the most part, I felt like the gunfights were fair. And when I died, it was a fair gunfight. Um, going back to the run smooth part. Um, Everything runs smooth. Now I did have some issues in the beginning of the beta where sometimes they would stick to cover too long, and I'd be trying to avoid a grenade or a mystical coming at me, and they wouldn't break cover fast enough. But that's just something you have to kind of get used to because Uncharted 3 was a little bit more fast paced than Uncharted 4, and that's something you're just gonna have to get used to. Hopefully they tweak it a little bit, but I do think that they kind of stay on cover too much, and it's kind of hard to kind of go in and out of cover really fast as you would in Uncharted 3. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not a lot of cons on this list. I really enjoyed the beta for the most part, and I really can't wait till the final game comes out. Another thing that I wanted to mention was um, hopefully the beta. I know it was a beta, but it kind of felt like you weren't really working towards anything. Um, the beta is fun. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like hopefully they add something that I know that they're probably most likely gonna have a ranking system, but hopefully they add something to where you work towards something. Because I felt like like what am I working towards? Like I'm collecting treasure, I'm getting this money to buy mysticals and all this, but am I just leveling up here? So hopefully they add something to where you work for, like where you're working toward the goal and unlocking some good things. So, but for the most part, I enjoyed the beta. It was a good long beta. It was like a week and a couple of days long. I enjoyed it. I think it's gonna be good. They need to tweak a couple things for that Spirit of the Jinn, aka the Delson row, and tweak a little bit of the cover system, and add a little bit of more value to the multiplayer. But other than that, it's a solid multiplayer, and I feel like a lot of people are going to be playing it for a very long time, just like The Last of Us. Like Naughty Dog has been doing really good on the multiplayer, except for Uncharted 3. But don't get me wrong, Uncharted 3 wasn't a bad game. It just had it catered more towards casual gamers. Like it just didn't really take any skill. Like in order to be good at Uncharted 3 multiplayer, you had to pretty much hip fire. Like you didn't have to aim in that game whatsoever. So going back to The Last of Us, Last of Us was a great game. People still play The Last of Us, and it came out in 2013. We're going on 2016. So that just tells you like the multiplayer was solid on that game. And I feel like this is going to be the same for Uncharted 4. The multiplayer is solid. I feel like once they tweak all the issues and everything, it's going to be a solid game. Oh, now I remember, I got one more issue. The matchmaking. Matchmaking needs to be improved. In the beginning of the beta, it was almost impossible for me or anybody else that I played with to find a game, especially if you were in a party with people. It took 20. I've sat in the lobby for like 20 minutes trying to find a game. I know towards the end of the beta, it went a little faster, but if they can get the matchmaking right and have consistent games where you don't wait more than 5 minutes for a game, that would be, maybe not 5 minutes, maybe like 10 minutes for a game. That would be good. I don't want to wait more than 10 minutes to find a game because it's just irritating, and it's just nobody wants to wait that long to play a game. So if they get the matchmaking right, tweak the mysticals and the brutes and all that, and the sidekicks a little bit, just tweak it just a little bit. Take the Delson row out, please. Take it out, and yeah, I feel like it'll be a great multiplayer, and Uncharted, single player wise is gonna be good. So we already know that, but the multiplayer I feel like is gonna be really good, and I really can't wait to get my hands onto it, the full multiplayer experience. So that's my opinion on the multiplayer beta Uncharted 4, and let me know in the comments down below what you thought about it. You come across this video, and you played the beta. Let me know what you thought about it. But for now, I'm gonna end this video right here. Feel free to watch the rest of the gameplay. I might just put the rest of it up. I have a lot of clips, but feel free to watch the rest of the gameplay, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.